Hey guys, welcome to the 11th episode of the Grabcast podcast. As always, I'm your host Josh, and we've got Brian.
Hello.
And that's it again. Sean was gonna be here, but sorry.
He might be here
again. Sean was gonna be here, but he is stuck in traffic because outside of our location, we've got a ton of construction going on.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, when it's over, the construction will be super awesome and driving will be great again. But for the time being, it blows. So
Sean's stuck.
Sean is stuck. He might show up if he can. Realistically, probably not. Unless we do maybe like a 2 or 3 hour podcast. Which again, I also realize is probably something we won't be doing.
Yep.
So, since last we recorded, E3 happened.
E3.
We talked a little bit about E3 predictions. And then now we know what came true.
Yeah. I got a list. I got a lot of things to talk about in a short amount of time.
All right.
In this podcast.
I got a couple things to talk about. But
on my list.
I'm trusting your list. You are the list guy.
My list.
Hey, well, that's actually a decent list.
Yeah.
Normally, this has like 3 things on it, and some of them are like dogs and dicks. But now it's like
a lot of it's dicks.
A lot of it's dicks. Dicks.
So let's start with Bethesda.
Bethesda, man.
Said it correctly.
Dude,
Bethesda.
Yeah,
I've
you
been
did.
practicing.
I'm proud of you.
I'm practicing.
Round of applause for Brian.
So Bethesda, Fallout 4.
Dude, Fallout 4, man.
Looks,
super awesome.
It looks cool. If I played Fallout.
I'm going to play Fallout now.
I guess so.
I really like very good character creation. I also just like character creation in general because I feel like more connected to the character.
Yeah.
But like this one's super in depth from what they showed. I also feel like because we were talking about last week that like the graphics, it didn't look great. But
that's
I feel
fine.
like that's fine. But even then, like I feel like the gameplay trailer looked much better than that teaser trailer they released.
Yeah, I didn't see the gameplay trailer, but I'm assuming it's probably great.
It was super awesome. But then I think one of the coolest things, at least to me, because this is one of the other things I like, is you can name your character. And then your little like personal robot guy said, like I think he named him Howard, and the guy said, "Oh, Howard, you need to go be doing this." And like he's like, "Oh, and just so you know, that's not because my name is Howard. We've programmed in game over like 1,000 of the most common names. So like Brian and Josh will realistically be able to name our character that, and then like other people in the game will say our name. Like they'll react to that. Yeah, I think that's awesome.
It's like in Zelda, where like your name will pop up. Some people will say your name.
Right.
But
they don't like physically voice act your name.
Yeah,
it just kind of comes up in text. With this, they will actually physically say your name.
That's cool.
Which I think is super cool. I also, because I think that shows programming like, it's a little bit of program. It's also like everyone then did the voiceover for that. And I mean, like, so they did the lines over.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it shows the dedication. And the character creation, it's not like sliders or clickers. It's just like you slide to the side of the face and kind of shape the face the way you want it. And you can be male or female, which is really cool. So.
And then they had the special Pip-Boy edition.
Yes, with the actual Pip-Boy.
Which is, wow.
Ridiculous. That's pretty intense.
My friend got it. I want to see it when he got it. Like,
that's
when he gets it, I want to see it.
I wonder what it does.
I'm sure it can do a limited amount of things.
Right.
But it's still pretty cool.
What if it's like it has like a GPS system or like...
And it kills everyone, like in Kingsman?
Yeah, you know. Or maybe it's got like menus. I don't know. I mean, it'll be really cool to look at.
Yeah, definitely. And then the iOS game, they came out like, oh yeah, you can
Fallout
download
Shelter.
right now.
Yeah.
And I played it for like a day, and then I was like, I can't keep up with this. And like all my people were super unhappy, so I got rid of it.
Yeah, I looked at it, I'm like, this is a game that I'm either going to play a bunch or suck at, so I'm just not going to touch it.
Yeah, I sucked at it. And I was like, I can't anymore. I'm sorry.
It was one of those things where like I used to play Clash of Clans, like hardcore when it first came out.
So did Al.
And it just got to be too much, and eventually like I didn't want to go through it again. I didn't want to Clash of Clans myself.
I have like one game I play on my iPad, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so, and like I have Mortal Kombat. Except I just go on it every day to get like the daily bonus because I'm stuck at this one part, and so I just keep adding up. I have like way more stuff that I need that I don't use. That's just like, oh, I'm actually playing the game anymore. But no, that's okay. So, also they had Doom.
Right. I didn't see much of the Bethesda stuff. I watched the Fallout 4 stuff, but I didn't watch any of the other stuff.
It was pretty much Doom. And they announced like a Elder Scrolls card game or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard about that.
That wasn't as big as Doom and Fallout. Mostly Fallout. Doom looks cool because it's a new Doom.
Right.
Doom hasn't been out in a long time.
I think they'll do it right. It looks like they know what they're doing.
Yeah. And then, so moving on to Well, PlayStation. We'll talk about PlayStation really quick.
Okay.
Because neither of us are big PlayStation guys.
I'm actually a very big PlayStation guy.
Well,
like I haven't been in a while because I went to the Xbox, but like I have been a very big PlayStation. Okay. Like PlayStation is how I started gaming. Pretty much.
Okay. Well, we can talk about PlayStation and Square Enix together then.
Yes, I am also a very big Square Enix guy.
So Kingdom Hearts 3 got a trailer.
Oh my god! No, it got a second trailer because there was the little prequel trailer they gave last year, but this trailer showed a little story elements. It showed.
I saw Tangled was in it.
Yeah, it released Tangled, so that's super cool. My sister's like favorite Disney movie is Tangled, so she's pumped. It showed like Sora's new outfit, which is pretty cool. And it showed all these new moves. I think the combat is going to be a lot more intense. I honestly, Kingdom Hearts 2 is probably my favorite game of all time, and I think the combat in there, it's like, I mean, sure, you just press X for attack, but there's special other things you can do, and I thought it was a perfect combat system. But this one looks even more intense. It looks more flowing. Looks like there's got a whole lot more going on.
I've played a Kingdom Hearts game like one time.
Super. I love him a bunch. So. And then like there's this part where Sora jumps off this cliff and it's just huge. And it looks like, because before like there'd be like little sections of the world and you'd have to go and then it would load and render the next one. Granted, it was a PlayStation 2 game, so I mean, at the time that made sense. But I'm wondering if like all of the worlds is going to be kind of like seamlessly connected. Like there won't be sections of the world where you have to go through doors and load and all that jazz.
Hopefully.
If it's just going to be like automatically generating the world. That would be amazing.
Bioshock Infinite was like that. It was fantastic. But no. And then, so PlayStation, well, they had like Uncharted 4 stuff. It looks cool.
Looks cool. It looks like it's going to be a good game. I mean, it's weird because I was playing Deadpool, so it's like Nathan Drake just sounds like Deadpool to me. Like, I mean, I just see him as Deadpool.
Wait, is it Nolan North?
Nolan North voices Nathan Drake.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Well, there was a time when Nolan North voiced like everyone.
Yeah, it was like Nolan North, Kevin Conroy, who does Batman, which I want to get to.
Yeah.
And then now it's Troy Baker.
But
Troy Baker's awesome. So
he is. He's really
a cool guy.
I like Troy Baker.
And then, so PlayStation had that. They released some other stuff. And then the big thing.
The big thing, man.
The big thing.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
And it's not going to come out for like 3 more years.
Who cares? It is a thing.
Like,
don't care.
They literally, all they have made for that game so far was that trailer.
I'm fine with it. I'm happy. Well, like, because for the longest time, it was just like, because, you know, they did the PS3 tech demo. They showed the Final Fantasy VII. It was like, here it is. And you're like, oh, that's really cool. It's like, oh, it was just a tech demo. Nothing's ever going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then they were talking like, it was like they want to do it, but they said it was going to be almost impossible because they wanted to get the people and to get all those people like together again was going to be super crazy hard.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, here's this super awesome looking trailer. And I like that since it's a remake, they're wanting to make sure that people know it's not just like a graphical improvement. Mm-hmm. It's like it's gonna be a new game.
Wow.
Which I think is really cool because I don't think the turn-based combat system is gonna really kind of work in today's day and age. You know.
Well, Fire Emblem does okay.
Yeah, but Fire Emblem, like, it's a little different because it's not necessarily turn-based. That's more of, like, strategic board placement, you know?
But the actual battles are, like, turn-based, right?
Kinda. I mean, yeah.
I've never played Final Fantasy VII, so I have no idea exactly what you're talking
about. So in Final Fantasy VII, what would happen is, like, your character would have a limit bar, right? So, it's their attack bar, right? So it would load up, and when it loaded up full, you could, like, select their attacks. Okay. And their bar would go on based off the character's speed. And then you could press attack or magic or summons or stuff like that, and then it would go. And then eventually, like, if your character did enough damage or it took enough damage, they could use a limit. And the limit would be, like, their super move, right?
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Like Cloud's final super move was Omni Slash, where she would go and you would just, like, slash the guy a bunch, and it would do, like, crazy amounts of damage.
I've played a lot of turn-based fighting games before.
Yeah. I like turn-based, and, like, Final Fantasy X is probably my favorite Final Fantasy, and that's just super straightforward turn-based. Like, I hit, you hit, I hit, you hit kind of thing.
Okay.
But I think, like... They said they're gonna change some story aspects, so I think that'll be really cool.
That'll make it simple.
Yeah. I also think that like Final Fantasy 15, which I'm assuming you probably haven't played any of.
Well, no, I've never played any Final Fantasy.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy 15.
Well, no, I played. I have Crystal Chronicles for my GameCube.
I've heard that one's really good, and I've heard that's one of the better ones. But like, so I got the demo for Final Fantasy 15 since I pre-ordered another Final Fantasy game, and I kind of pretty much just pre-ordered that Final Fantasy game for the demo. But then the game is actually pretty fun. I just haven't played it a whole lot. But the demo is really cool because it's just like, it's open world, like completely open world, and you roam around, and then like you randomly fight, like you find it, like sometimes there'll be a dropship that drops off enemies who are chasing you, and then you gotta fight those guys, or you can just like, hey, there's a wild boar, I'm gonna start fighting him.
That's cool.
Then you have to fight a herd of wild boar.
Hopefully that's what the new Zelda's like.
yeah, you know, but I mean, like I expect it to be more kind of like Zelda-based combat rather than turn-based, which I think would be awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And it just, I don't know, I'm really excited. I played, I'd watched Advent Children, which I thought was really cool. I liked it a bunch because I love Final Fantasy.
Okay.
And like that's like it's pretty much just like the CGI cutscenes and put into a movie.
Okay.
The movie's but I like it enough.
Interesting.
And then I played Crisis Core, which was like the prequel to Final Fantasy VII, and I thought that was a really good game. The combat system was kind of interesting. It had like you'd set your commands and you'd attack and all that jazz. I didn't like the leveling system because the leveling system was based randomly. So like you'd randomly go in the slot machine and you could like if 3 things lined up, you would be able to attack. But if 3 things lined up in one way, you'd be able to level up. So like
That's weird.
Yeah, you couldn't really like train to level up.
Okay.
But that was it. I thought that had a really good story. It looked really good, and now they've got the remake for Final Fantasy VII. So I'm very, very excited.
So that's all about PlayStation for us because I don't know anything else.
Yeah, I know they had that Shenmue debacle, which is kind of like upsetting. Like, I didn't even know Shenmue was a thing. I honestly know nothing about it.
I've seen the character before. I've never actually known what the
game
was.
I think I probably remember looking at it way back in the day where I would sneak off at Family Video to go look at the game section.
Yeah,
like I probably saw it there, but I don't know anything about the game. I just know that like
they asked people to fund it.
Yeah,
Sony asked people to fund it.
Right, because like Sony's like we're not going to fund it, but they were going to fund it anyways. And I mean,
it's weird.
It's not like they're going to release like. No one's going to announce a Kickstarter at a conference like that, especially Sony. Yeah. Like, if you're announcing a Kickstarter at a Sony press conference,
it's really
that's
weird.
Some red flags as it is.
Yeah.
But I really like Kickstarter and I really like Indiegogo because I love the idea of it. Mm-hmm. I think like I wrote a paper on it. I think these two forms of I don't know, they're not media, but these two sites and the crowdfunding as a whole allows us to get a lot more unique and original content. Because like it's not like Transformers. I use Transformers as a great example. Like, people say they don't like the Transformers movies, right? Like, they're like, oh, it's just the same thing over and over again. They're my guilty pleasure movie, yeah. I actually didn't really like the 4th one because there was a point where I looked at my watch and was like, this fight scene is like kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah, the movie was like 3 hours long.
Right, and everyone bashes those movies. But they make a shit ton of money.
Oh, yeah, because it's Transformers.
Right, so the studio's like, oh, the people don't like it? Fuck the people. We're going to go make it because they're going to see it.
Yeah.
So we get the same movie all over again. And people are complaining like, oh, we're only getting remakes or rehashings of stories. Like, we look at last year, we had Ninja Turtles. We got Superman. Like
Number 2's coming out soon, actually.
I'm super pumped about the Ninja Turtles. So, I mean, like, it's fun. I like these movies, but we're not getting really anything new.
Yeah.
Like, Boyhood, I thought was a great example because, like, it was something entirely new. Like, I thought the idea was great, regardless of how well the movie played out. But they took this kid and for 12 years shot a movie about his life.
Wow.
So like the kid started at 12 and ended at like 20 or something, but it was the same actor the entire time. I thought that was really cool. And with things like, or with Indiegogo, we get Laser Team, right? Like they wanted to make their own movie, but they didn't want to have the people, like some higher ups make cuts and stuff. So the fans did it. Or Zach Braff, and I know people kind of get angry about the Zach Braff thing because he's got a bunch of money. He could have funded it himself.
Yeah.
But he made Garden State, which I haven't seen, but I've heard is really good. And I've seen bits and pieces of Wish I Was Here, and I loved that. But he was able to, like, and he made a great video on it. Like, he was able to do whatever he wanted. Like, the money people, like if they promoted the movie, someone funded the movie, they'd be like, okay, cool. Because his example was he wanted to put Donald Faison in, who's Turk.
Yeah,
and everyone loves Donald Faison, right? And like, but how about instead of Donald Faison, we do like Denzel Washington, because Denzel Washington's a bigger money draw. Well, that would be cool, and Denzel's great, but it wouldn't have that same effect in the movie.
Yeah.
And like I guess I don't know if this is a good example or not, but in the Entourage movie, there's a part where like one of the guys who's funding the movie is some punk little kid, or it's his dad who's funding the movie, but he's just some stupid kid, and he wants to make changes to the movie, and he's not going to give them the money they need unless they make the changes. So that's the kind of shitty things about studios. There's a lot of people who have a vision for a movie, and it could be a great movie, but they need the money, so they have to make changes.
Yeah.
And I think that's where sites like Kickstarter and Indiegogo help, because they're allowed to like promote new creators and get people's ideas out there, and it brings in new stuff. So when Sony's like, hey, we're going to kickstart this,
bringing it back around,
just because they want people to donate the money, even if they were just trying to see, I want to see if people will put forth the money, I still think that's kind of bad.
Which they did.
Right. People did, because it's Sony. It's a game probably people love, and they put forth it. And then Sony still backed the money, what they needed anyways.
Yeah.
I just think that's kind of cruddy, because it takes away from what Kickstarter and Indiegogo are. It takes away from what crowdfunding is supposed to be, where it's like the people helping fund this, so there has to be another say instead of it getting funded anyways.
Yeah, it's weird. And then
that's my little rant.
No, it's good. No, I agree with you completely. One of the weird things I found with PlayStation was there was no God of War. I heard there was going to be a possible remaster for it.
I mentioned that in the last podcast. I don't know if that was me you heard that from.
Or probably you.
I mean, that would have made sense.
That was one. That was like one of the absent games from E3 this year, and I found that really strange.
Yeah. Like I know they kind of finished it, but like we said last time, this is the year of the remake or remaster. I'm
pretty sure they were making one. I don't know.
I thought I read somewhere. I didn't think I pulled that out of my butt. I thought I heard that somewhere. I pulled a lot of things out of my butt, but I don't think that was one of them.
Yeah, not God of War. So let's move on to Microsoft.
Okay.
Which
I actually have not seen the Microsoft press conference.
I haven't seen it at all. So I was trying to make
the perfect people to talk about.
I made a list about it, and I was like, shit, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I know Gears of War 4.
Right.
Gears of War Remastered.
Right.
Mass Effect 4.
Right.
Is a thing. Those three things.
Is it Mass Effect 4 or is it just the next Mass Effect?
It's next Mass Effect.
Okay.
Whatever.
Super pumped. Mass Effect.
I've never played Mass Effect either.
Dude, I've got Mass Effect 2. You should play it. I didn't want to play it because it seemed too overwhelming to me.
Yep.
Because people are like, oh, every decision you make affects everything and blah, 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 blah. And like I was like, oh, that just seems too much for me. So one day I picked it up because it was like, I got that and some other game for like $20.
Wow.
And it's one of my favorite games. It's such a good game. Especially if you love sci-fi. It's such a good sci-fi story.
I'll be pretty busy with games.
That's
soon.
true. That is true.
Arkham Knight. Anyways, so Halo.
Okay.
I did a bunch of Halo stuff there. I didn't actually. I don't know. I'm like excited for Guardians, but
right.
I haven't watched anything about it just because it's the next Halo.
Well, I mean, like it's Halo 5. It's not like we're not gonna get and play Halo 5.
Much.
You know, I don't need to be sold. It's Halo.
And they had Forza 6 there, which I'm excited about because I play Forza. They actually announced there's a 1 terabyte Xbox One coming out.
Right.
There's also one that's blue.
Really?
And it's like a Forza 6 blue 1 terabyte Xbox One.
That's pretty cool.
It's blue, and the controller's blue, and I might get it or convince my dad to buy it, and I can have the Xbox One we have now.
That makes sense. And with the backwards... Oh, whoops.
Oh, yeah, backwards compatibility. I forgot about backwards compatibility.
With backwards compatibility... With backwards compatibility, you put that one upstairs, get rid of the Xbox 360.
No, we'd probably keep 360.
Probably, yeah.
Because we have, like, arcade games on there.
Oh, well, I mean, you could take the hard... Like, you could probably just sell the base unit or take the hard drive, put it onto the 1 terabyte Xbox.
That's not a bad idea.
And then use that money because you could probably sell it for about $100, you know?
Yeah.
And then, or at least trade it in or something.
Or if I move out, I can take the 360.
Exactly.
But if I have a 1.
Or if you move out, you could take the 1.
Biggest thing from Microsoft, and probably one of the coolest things from all of E3, HoloLens.
Dude, HoloLens was awesome. It was so cool.
It looks like out of all the VR stuff, other than Valve and HTC...
Well, it's not really VR. I mean,
I guess so.
It's AG. It's augmented reality.
Yeah.
Or AR. AG.
Whatever. But
ARG.
Out of all that new tech that's coming out, other than like Valve and HTC are teamed up, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Oculus, And then...
I think, like we talked about last time, Oculus is kind of... They announced this great idea, and it was so good, but then everyone's like, oh, we could do that, and then Oculus just... It did not become the thing.
But I think HoloLens is the one I'm rooting for the most. Even though it's not like the other ones, I think... Who's talking about it? It may have been Adam Kovic.
Mm-hmm.
But he said that, like, HoloLens would be cool for, like, home stuff. Like, you saw, like, the Minecraft thing was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, like, doing stuff around your house, like Tony Stark, would be really cool. HoloLens for video games? I don't know.
I agree. I don't think
I would rather do a VR, like, HTC, whatever that's called.
I don't think it's going to implement itself so much in gaming. I think that was a big, like... I think they wanted to show off HoloLens. I think this was good to do it. I think they could use some aspects of gaming, but...
Like, the Minecraft thing was pretty cool.
It was really cool, but, I mean, it's not... This... HoloLens is such a huge jump in technology. That's why I'm excited for it. I'm not excited necessarily for the gaming aspects because, like, I still think at the end of the day, unless, like, it's, like, a virtual world where, like, I get to be the character.
Yeah.
I still like sitting down with a controller and doing that. You know what I mean?
It's the HTC Vive.
Okay.
Vive?
Oh, yeah. Because they talked about it in the patch. Is it Vive or Vive? Or...
Yeah. Whatever it is. That looks cool because it's Steam and stuff. But
I just think HoloLens has so many practical uses in the world that it's just going to...
Definitely.
Like, think of it from an engineering aspect. You mean...
Tony Stark.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, you're building a car, right? And you're like, okay, I want to try these parts. I want to see if it works. Well, instead of having to, like, run the simulation in a computer or anything, you can physically get in there and see, like, oh, here, this is not going to work. This part's going to run into this part. I can change this, tweak it, and maybe
that's
create,
so cool.
Like, things with such little friction. It just...
And then you type it into your 3D printer and it prints it out.
Exactly. I mean, like,
that's
the future. That's what it is. It is the future.
Oh, I'm so excited. That's so cool.
Like, I mean, it's... I think it could pose, like... as long as we don't... If we use it maybe to be active, too, and we don't become, like, the fat people in WALL-E, I think it could be
Never
awesome.
Saw WALL-E.
Oh, well,
yeah, I understand it though.
Right, but I mean, like, think of it like the glasses in
fuck. That's also another thing. VR and porn would definitely be a thing. Yeah, I'm just saying.
The Oculus Rift.
Oh man.
The glasses in the Kingsman, right? Where they put those on and they were having a conversation with everyone in the room. I mean, the HoloLens is like the same thing. Like you could do that, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Like you could have I think it would be crazy.
HoloLens has a lot of possibilities.
And like
was it you were telling me, or it might have been someone else from like Funhouse, but they were talking about how there's like 2 pieces of like paper, or like blue special paper, or whatever, and that was a desktop, and like you put the HoloLens on, and like the desktop came from that, and you could just move it around with your hands and stuff.
I didn't tell you that, but I think that would make a ton of sense. That'd be awesome. So, like you have a whole sheet where you can Tony Stark it, where you can put like your Iron Man suit on and spin it and look at it around.
Just so.
Even if they just made an app like that, I would play with that app all the time.
Yeah.
Like when I was using Kinect on the 360 to like move from page to page, totally felt like Tony Stark. I'm not gonna lie. Mm-hmm. I would sometimes just sit there for like 10 minutes just swiping back and forth because it felt cool.
Yeah. And that was all the Kinect was good for.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Microsoft, like they always talk about who wins,
right?
Like E3, which you can't really like obviously
it's tough.
And like Microsoft had good stuff, Sony had good stuff, Bethesda had really good stuff. People are saying Bethesda won, and they're saying they're probably not even gonna have another one next year.
Well, they don't need to.
Yeah, they're like, hey, Fallout 4, bye.
Right, they're still be supporting that.
Nintendo obviously didn't win.
You a little burned by that one?
Yeah, I'll get to that in a sec. I'm burned by some things, not other things.
Right.
But so like between Microsoft and Sony, it was a real. I wasn't expecting a lot this E3, and they blew us away.
Oh yeah, like hands down, this has been the best. This was the best E3 in years.
A long time.
It was awesome. Like I hadn't been this pumped for stuff in a long time, and there was some new content that was released.
Yeah.
Like For Honor. Completely.
Yeah, I want to actually get to Ubisoft because you just said getting pumped for stuff, and one of the biggest games I'm pumped for is from Ubisoft.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
So Syndicate, they showed it was weird because they didn't reveal that much. It was just like they had like a new cinematic trailer.
Okay.
And then I think there may have been like some gameplay.
Right.
But there was no like big gameplay trailer for it. It was just like a cinematic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we talked about last time, they're doing that tour beta test thing, so I wouldn't be surprised if they want to keep as much gameplay stuff in-house. Yeah. So it's a big surprise when they do the tour.
Yeah, plus people like IGN and stuff uploaded gameplay stuff from the floor.
Yeah.
So, and then they were talking about it. Like Rooster Teeth was hosting E3 on YouTube and stuff,
super cool,
awesome. And they were talking. It was like Lawrence and Adam and
probably Ashley or Meg,
maybe.
No,
it was Jack. It was Jack because it was Assassin's Creed.
Duh.
And they were talking with this guy from Syndicate about it, and the guy was like, "It sounds so good. There's no multiplayer, at all. I'm pretty sure."
That's kind of.
And then Jack,
because I did like the integration multiplayer in Unity.
Yeah,
I mean, like that was
pretty cool.
We're running around Paris. That was cool.
And then Jack the Ripper, because they asked about Jack the Ripper because that's the time period, and it's pre Jack the Ripper. Ooh. But I think there's a possibility. I think the guy pretty much said. Secretly, but not. He didn't say it. That they'll probably have like a DLC or something.
That's pretty cool.
So,
do you think Jack the Ripper will be like an assassin or a Templar or just like a crazy effing dude?
I don't know because like no one knows who actually he was.
That's a good point.
So it could be a complete mystery, which would be. I mean, it would be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And then like you can assassinate people from trains, and you can like disconnect train cars.
That's so cool.
And you can assassinate people from the grappling hook. It sounds
crazy awesome.
Cool.
That's so
like I haven't been excited for like I'm always excited for new Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah.
Games. Like Black Flag is actually going to be free on Xbox One next month, and I don't have it.
On Xbox One?
Yeah.
So I don't know why I'm so excited because I already have it. But that's
I don't have it for the one yet. So I just download it.
Beautiful on the one.
I'm probably going to just download it.
For
achievements too.
Yeah, I love water effects, and like I don't know why, because I just love when water looks really good, and water looks so good in that game.
So I was pretty excited for Black Flag because of pirates.
Yeah.
Like Unity, I was excited for, but like Syndicate, I'm really excited.
Syndicate's just got a new feel to it.
Yeah,
like,
it's so cool.
Like I was really pumped for Unity because like I like the customization because it makes the character feel more like Unity.
And yeah, they had they're gonna do customization as well.
That's pretty cool.
That's back.
But like, and I think that worked because that makes you like unique. That connects you to the character a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like when you showed up and you had that awesome outfit in my game, and like I had mine. Like we were two different assassins essentially. It was really cool.
But Ubisoft had a really good. I watched pretty much all of the Ubisoft press conference because I was waiting for Syndicate, and it was like the last one. And Aisha Tyler hosted again, which is always great.
Yep, she does
but they started out with the best trailer probably at E3, and it's the Stick of Truth sequel.
Oh,
The Fractured Butthole. And it looks like they had Trey and Matt come out after the trailer, and they were talking about it. And Aisha was like, "You said you weren't going to make another game." They're like, "Yeah, well, the Stick of Truth did really well, so we decided why not." And this time they're like the Coon, and they're all superheroes this time.
Oh, really? So it's not like a fantasy thing? It's like
it's like more like that because I think Butters is the main bad guy now.
Jesus.
But I saw like Towley was in the
it
was in it and stuff.
That's funny.
And it's called The Fractured Butthole.
The Fractured Butthole.
And it looks, and you're like the new kid again, and it sounds, and that's how they started their conference.
That's pretty intense.
And then I don't know if For Honor was right after that, but For Honor
looks so. I mean, like when was the last time we really saw a new IP? I mean, like everything's been like a sequel or like another spin-off game, and like For Honor, I think, is the game that I've wanted to play for so long.
It looks really cool.
It looks so awesome. Like I love samurais and I love knights. I'm not huge into Vikings, but there's, I mean,
Vikings
I
are cool.
understand that Vikings are fucking awesome and they're brutal.
Yeah.
But like samurais are my warrior. Like, you know what I mean? But like, like it's got that aspect where you can like be that skilled warrior and fight through this hordes of no ones, and then that intricate combat when you're fighting another player.
Yeah.
That
and
like actually feels like battle.
You need to like learn how to parry. You have to learn.
Yeah.
I think Funhouse was talking about how they were playing it, and it was like they weren't doing well, but it was like if you put the time in, I'm sure like you will learn how to fight.
Yeah. So, you can feel like,
it looks pretty
so
sweet.
Cool.
And then they had the Vision was there. I don't know anything about the game. We can pass on that.
Yeah, I mean they
Siege
showed a little last
Siege
year.
looks cool.
Siege.
Rainbow Six.
Oh yeah.
Mostly because it has Terrorist Hunt coming back, which means more Let's Plays for Terrorist Hunt from Achievement Hunter.
That'll be awesome.
But then I'm trying to remember what else Ubisoft had.
Maybe bring back some Rage Dre.
Yeah, maybe. I wish. As long as they have like the face scanning stuff again.
So great. But imagine how much better the face scanning could be, you know?
Yeah, it would be really cool. But no, For Honor.
Fucking dumb face.
But For Honor looks really neat.
I'm so excited. Like they didn't give a release date or announcement, but like I'm so excited for that game. And watching the reviews with that lead developer, he is too. Like he said, I wanted to play this game for a while, so I'm making it. And like, he was so excited.
If people making a game like that. If they're that excited,
you know it's gonna be good. Like they're putting everything
really
into this
passionate
game.
About it.
And I feel like it was probably awesome for him because I didn't hear a bad thing about that game. Everyone is super hyped for For Honor.
It looks pretty cool.
So it had to be like a huge, great thing for him.
Also, I forgot Microsoft, the new Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah. So you and Sean are pretty pumped about that.
I watched a little bit of it and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
So that game was going to be awesome as well. So let's get down to Nintendo. Because I have to say some words.
Okay, go for it.
So Nintendo had their little video thing.
Right.
Where Reggie and Miyamoto became puppets.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
Yeah.
And then they started announcing stuff, which was... Some of it was awesome. Some of it was okay. Some of it was disappointing.
Right.
They started out with like the new Star Fox. Looks cool.
Okay.
Like, it could be... It looks pretty interesting with like the Wii U gamepad. And,
question real quick.
Yeah.
So like they were doing this on the Nintendo Direct, right? They didn't have the press conference.
No, they don't have a press conference.
Right, because I was listening to last week's podcast while I was editing it, but like, and I felt like an idiot because I know I said like, oh, Nintendo's not at E3. I know they don't do a press conference. They have like, but are they there? Do they have a presence at E3?
Oh yeah, definitely. They have booths and stuff set up.
Okay.
They don't have a conference. They had like that whole big Smash thing right before E3, and then they had their conference on like Tuesday.
Okay.
Conference, but like their
Nintendo Direct thing, yeah.
So Star Fox looks cool. It's like original like Star Fox 64 kind of gameplay, but you can transform into like a tank and like a walker.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's cool. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
and that was kind of their big thing was they're trying to woo people with that because they didn't have Zelda.
Is it for 3DS or for Wii U?
It's Wii U.
Okay.
They try to woo people with that. I think they announced a new Zelda game, which is like a 3-player co-op.
Yeah,
which looks pretty cool.
Is it kind of like Four Swords-esque?
A little bit, sort of. Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Sure, it's sort of like Four Swords. They showed some
3 swords. They killed off one of the swords.
Yeah, no more pink.
Oh man, no pink, just stink.
No pink. Nope.
That's a bummer.
Just green, red, and blue.
Oh.
So they had Fire Emblem. They had the new Xenoblade Chronicles,
cool.
which Al's really excited for Xenoblade Chronicles because he started playing it and he really likes the game.
He was playing He was playing Xenoblade X, right? Because that's the one that came out in the
no, that's
new
the
3DS.
I thought that Xenoblade X is the new game.
Okay, because I saw some of that. That looks pretty intense.
Like the new, it's not a remaster, but they remade it for the 3DS, the old one.
Okay.
So
Chronicles is the one on the new 3DS.
Yeah.
So then, did they announce a new Chronicles?
No, I think it's just it might be Xenoblade, whatever X is. X is the new one.
Right. X is the one where you get to make your own character and blah blah blah, and apparently you get a mech.
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be crazy.
And then they announced Mario Maker was a big thing too.
Right, I heard that.
Which looks really cool because especially if you're going to game design.
Yeah.
Mario Maker looks awesome.
Yeah.
And then they announced a new amiibo for that, which is going to be probably impossible to get.
Yeah.
And then they announced it's like Mario Party, but they have 2 new Animal Crossing games coming out actually. Okay. They have the Mario Party, it's like an amiibo festival where it looks kind of like Mario Party, but you have to have amiibos I think to play it. But they're also coming out with Animal Crossing cards, so you don't have to get the physical amiibos. So I think you can just use the cards.
Put the card on the gamepad and it works like an amiibo?
Well, you know how the AR cards you got with the 3DS?
Yeah.
They're not like that, but imagine amiibo cards.
That makes sense.
And then they have a Animal Crossing game where it's just house design, and you design houses for people in the town.
Okay.
Which could be...
I could see that being certain people's real big thing.
I might get it because it looks kind of interesting because you have to do it a certain way, and you have to... But then... They announced a new Metroid game, Metroid Prime. They put Metroid Prime on the name, which makes me sad because basically it's just a 3 versus 3 soccer game.
Oh, so that actually is being called Metroid?
Yeah, it's it's Metroid, and you get into a little suit, and you it's not any Metroid that anybody has ever wanted.
Right.
It's super disappointing, and they've said afterwards, we know you guys want a legitimate good new Metroid game. It's just.
Do you think this is just a placeholder? We're working on it.
It's a 3DS game.
We didn't forget. Yeah, because I saw it. I didn't know it was Metroid tied. I thought it was Metroid-esque, and they didn't even have the Metroid name to it.
No, Metroid name's on it.
Okay.
It is just wow.
I'm sure a ton of people are gonna buy it. I'm sure it's gonna be kind of fun, kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, if Nintendo does one thing well, they do handhelds really, really well. I think a lot of their console games kind of suck sometimes. They're not what everyone thinks, but they know handheld games.
Yeah, we got all the new DLC characters for Smash Bros.
Solid. How's that been?
Very fun.
Good.
Ryu is a blast.
Hadouken!
Yes, I have Hadouken now. I played as Lucas, which is my favorite character.
Solid.
So, and they're supposed to come out with amiibos for every single Super Smash Bros. Character.
Really?
So it's supposed to everybody's supposed to have amiibos.
Dude, it's gonna be time to motherfucking smash. Yeah.
So that Game Grumps actually showed up.
Really? At the Nintendo thing, or
no? At Rooster Teeth. They showed up at Rooster Teeth.
Yeah. Okay.
At the YouTube booth, and they played some Duck Game, which looks like a very interesting game.
Okay.
It's you're all ducks, but you kill each other. It's really weird. But it was Ross, Barry, and Aaron, and Smooth McGroove, and they're all playing Duck Game.
McGroove, dude, I love Smooth McGroove. Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah, he looks a pretty sweet guy. So
I love his little.
They showed up, which was pretty cool. So that was E3.
Yeah.
Really good E3 overall.
Yeah, I felt a lot of awesome announcements. A lot of things
Battleborn was there too.
Oh yeah, Battleborn.
I haven't actually looked into that thing of Battleborn, but it looks. I mean, it's Gearbox and 2K.
Yeah.
So I'm not super worried.
And I think because we talked a little bit a couple days ago, and I was trying to think. I think I told you this, but not on the podcast, that you'll be able to go through a character's entire skill tree at the start of a match, so that way you get a little more experience with every
throughout
character.
The whole match.
Yeah, they said the thing with Borderlands is they had really cool characters, but you need to put in easily 40 hours to really get one certain playstyle.
Yeah.
And say you want to do it again, I mean, I guess you could just reset your skill tree, which is cool.
Yeah.
But then you'd still need to learn that playstyle.
Uh-huh.
But with this one, they've got 25 different characters. So in a match, which is about 45 minutes, you can go through and entirely max out that character.
That's cool.
That way you can max certain things and try different moves each side match, and then you can find which of the 25 characters you play as best.
Yeah, and you can never find one. Just keep switching, which would be awesome.
Exactly.
Just random and keep getting Cell Jr.
Exactly. Cell Jr. 3 times in a row.
Fucker. Me and Josh were playing
Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
Yeah.
Awesome game.
We were just random our players, and I kept getting Cell Jr. 3 times in a row.
But here's the thing. We weren't just pressing one random button, right?
Yeah.
We were pressing, because you could press random and then the timer still goes. You could press random and select the character and then go. But what we were doing is, so it was a little more random. We just kept pressing the random button over and over again.
Until time ran out.
Yeah. And then, 3 times in a row, he got Cell Jr.
And then you would get, Super Saiyan God Goku.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, fuck.
One time I got Super Saiyan 3 Goku and you were Cell Jr. Or I got Perfect Cell and you were Cell Jr.
Oh, that's terrible. Just terrible.
Yeah. It was was weird for a random that he kept randomly getting the exact same character.
So let's talk about Arkham Knight really quick.
Okay, I don't honestly know a whole lot about Arkham Knight.
Have you played any of the Arkham games before?
Oh yes, I've played Arkham Asylum and Arkham City.
Okay.
I haven't played Arkham Origins.
It's the biggest game. Origins is good. Like Rocksteady didn't make it.
Right, I know that.
Which was like, but then it was still decent.
Yeah.
Because they didn't like they took like the Arkham games and they added a couple little things that weren't the best, but they didn't change like anything.
Right. It was just like, hey, here's more Batman Arkham stuff.
Yeah, because like you shouldn't change any of that stuff.
Right.
Because that game, that fighting is great. So Arkham Knight, it's the largest map they've had.
That's pretty cool.
You can play as the Batmobile.
Play as or drive in?
You can drive the Batmobile, and you can do shit with it, which looks awesome.
Can it transform?
I guess so. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it. You started explaining like a trailer to me, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about because I haven't watched anything about that game. I'm probably gonna get it next week and start playing it, and I'm really excited. But when it came out on Tuesday. PC had huge issues with it. Major performance issues. Warner Brothers stopped selling the PC version.
Really?
Yeah, they started getting out refunds. They're like, we're not selling any more PC version until we fix it. Which is like, wow.
That's intense.
That's really crazy. And that
I guess that's kind of a good thing because then they realize, hey, we messed up. We're going to make this
game's
better.
broken, even though it was supposed to come out last year, and we kept pushing it.
Now we see why they pushed it.
And so we're going to fix it. We're sorry. Which, I mean, good for them. It came out at the same time as Destiny. But Bungie, Destiny, I heard, is having a whole bunch of issues right now.
I haven't played Destiny in a while.
Because they announced the Taken King.
Right.
The new DLC. But it's like, supposedly you had to like rebuy the game or something.
There's certain missions in there that only come in with the special pack.
Special edition,
special edition.
You have to rebuy the game.
So like for new players, cool. But the people who've like been showing Destiny love and like nonstop playing get boned.
Yeah, and so now it's like they apologize and you buy like Taken King for like $40 now.
Jeez.
That's like that's
ridiculous. That for $40 that better be good. Because I mean, in all honesty, for the $60 I spent on Destiny, there wasn't a whole lot there unless you wanted to grind and you had a bunch of time. I didn't.
Yeah. So they apologized, and the Rocksteady was like, no more PC right now. We're sorry. And then I'm trying to remember because that was like in the cells for like IGN. That story was like next to that story, and then underneath that is the next topic I want to talk about, which is Top Gear.
Oh yeah, yep. Because I want to talk about this too.
Clarkson pretty much said out like, yeah, we have a new show. It's going to be the three of us plus a showrunner from Top Gear who left.
Right.
So it's like 4 people. It's the 3 hosts plus a guy from Top Gear, and they're making their own show. And supposedly they're finalizing a deal with Netflix.
Now,
and there's no Stig, which is unfortunate.
I thought back in the day, like there were these 3 really good-looking dudes who talked about this, who said that this might be a thing.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
That's weird.
Maybe it was... That's right, it was us.
We talked
about that. Yeah.
We figured it out.
I got it, man. I'm a super sleuth.
Sloth.
But no, I thought it was really cool. I mean,
it's cool. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what they do.
That's exactly what we figured. I mean, it makes sense because Netflix is such a big powerhouse right now. They can do that.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I gotta get going in a few not too long, so I want to run through a couple more things on my list here.
Got it. I think I had a couple things.
So we saw Jurassic World. Excellent movie.
Dude, Jurassic World was so awesome.
Lego Jurassic World, even better game.
I bet.
Except for all the glitches and bugs and crashes.
And terrible things about it.
Yeah, I was playing and the T-Rex was chasing me and he glitched behind something and got stuck there, and I had to get like a mini kit and I was supposed to throw stuff in his mouth and I couldn't because he was no longer finding me. And I was like, this is bullshit. I want to talk about San Diego Comic-Con soon.
Okay.
It's coming up, I want to say, the weekend before or after the 4th of July. It's around the 4th of July.
Okay.
Marvel announced that they're not going to be in it. Marvel Studios. Wow. Good job, Jeff. Yeah, that's a good book, though. I have that book. It's Food by Jim Gaffigan. Marvel Studios, the movies, announced they're not going to be at Comic-Con.
Right. They just said they had nothing to show.
Which is kind of bullshit. And then Fox and Paramount also announced they're not going to be at Comic-Con either.
Really?
Yeah.
So DC is going to be pushing pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. It'd be interesting.
Now, with the superhero things, some recent news came out. Spider-Man has been cast. And unfortunately, we have to announce that it's not
Drake and Josh.
I was a little crushed that it wasn't the tag team duo of Drake Bell and Josh Peck.
That'd be unfortunate.
But I think the kid, I don't really know the kid at all, but I think he looks kind of like a Peter Parker. Like,
yeah.
I think I think I'll be down. I think it'll be fun.
I guess best known part is some musical. And I think it was at midnight, and Chris Hardwick was like, "Yeah, Spider-Man musicals usually don't go well together."
Yeah.
But I'm excited.
I think it'll be fun.
I heard he actually tested it out with Chris Evans. And Robert Downey Jr.
I was hearing that. I think IGN is saying like they went through testing. Like, hey, there's like 1,000 people, if not more. They all got tested. Then there's 600 that all got tested with Robert Downey Jr. Chris Evans, and this was the one that worked well. So I think they're taking extra special precautions to not mess this up.
Because they know they easily could.
Yeah, and like after everything they've gone through to get Spider-Man, they do not want to mess this up. I'm not really worried. Plus, it's Spider-Man.
It's huge. Like Marvel and Sony are working together.
Right.
And actually, I heard because of that, Fox wants to try in a couple years.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, you're going to be very surprised. Oh. They want to try to cross over X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Oh, okay. I almost lost my mind.
I know.
You said X-Men. I was like, that's exactly what I wanted you to say. And then you said Fantastic
Four. Because basically what it depends on.
Okay.
I really don't care if it happens or not.
Yeah.
If X-Men and Fantastic, it'd be cool. But then you'll be like, this isn't what really...
Let Hugh Jackman be in Avengers. That's all I want. Let Hugh Jackman be in Avengers. I don't care about the rest of the
What I read, it was like, it basically depends if Spider-Man works out, that's good.
I think when Spider-Man works out.
Yeah, when. Because I'm sure he will.
Yep.
The biggest deciding factor for Fox right now is Fantastic Four has to do really well. Also, the sequel, which they already have planned.
For Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is due like next year.
Jesus.
Or 2 years. Also has to do really well. Also, X-Men Apocalypse has to do really well. I'm not worried about X-Men Apocalypse.
I'm not really worried about Apocalypse.
Like, Days of Future Past was awesome.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'm sure Apocalypse will do fine.
Yeah.
But it depends on if Fantastic Four does well, and they might cross them over. Thoughts?
I mean, how well are we talking about for Fantastic Four?
It has to make a lot of money.
Like, I could see it, but I could also see it not doing very well.
Because people be like, what are these two groups doing together?
Well, regardless, just the Fantastic Four movies.
I want to interrupt you for a second.
No, go for it.
They do Galactus again and pull it off correctly.
Yeah.
That could be a reason to get those two groups together.
That would make sense. But I mean, like, I could see... Oh, crap. I mean, I could see the Fantastic Four doing okay. I don't see it doing very well. I mean, because, it's Marvel, but it's not like...
It's not Marvel Studios.
It has nothing to do with Avengers, you know what I mean? It just has the Marvel name on it. And the last Fantastic Four movie didn't really do really well.
No.
This looks darker, grittier, and more... Like, I think this will be better than the last ones, but I don't see people flocking. I think we're starting to see the effects of superhero fatigue.
Yes.
Like, Avengers Age of Ultron, it did well, but I mean, like, I expected it to be crazy at the movie theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't. It was just, like, kind of a little busier than an average weekend.
Yeah, it did decent.
But, like, Jurassic World...
Just crazy.
Fucking destroyed us. It was unbelievable. And I mean, it just shattered records. It shattered the Avengers record, the first one.
Which is amazing.
Which was like so much money.
Yeah.
And
like 50 million or something
I think we're starting to see the effects of superhero fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I mean, I think Infinity Wars will be cool.
Yeah.
I think it'll be great. I am excited for Ant-Man. I think it'll be fun. I love Paul Rudd. Cool. I wouldn't be surprised if Ant-Man doesn't do too well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like...
I think the hardcore fans will be flocking to it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, how many of the people are the hardcore fans?
Yeah, I've seen people around the theater that see the poster for it and they're like, "Well, that's weird." And I'm like,
yeah.
"No, you don't understand. This is important."
Yeah,
but
so like I said, I've said it 3 times now in this podcast alone. I think at one point people have to be like, "Okay, I'm done with superheroes," and I've heard people say it so far.
Yeah.
I've heard them say it recently, like, "I've been watching superhero movies for the past 7 years. I think I'm getting a little done with superhero movies." And I think Jurassic World is a good example. Like, sure, it's a sequel to the original. It
has a superhero in it.
It does. It's got Chris Pratt, but it was something new. Like, I mean, new in a sense that it wasn't a superhero. It wasn't crazy action.
I want to see how the new Terminator does.
I also don't see that one doing too
well. I don't see it doing well.
I don't know if people want to watch Arnold in movies.
I see it being, 1, not a superhero movie. 2, it's like Jurassic World, or has like that name on it, which it could. I'm assuming it's going to do decent.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I don't think it'll be amazing. Like, I don't think it's going to crush.
No.
Plus, I mean, its opening weekend is 4th of July weekend. That's a shitty weekend to open.
Yeah, I guess
just because people leave, people go up north, people watch fireworks. They don't watch movies.
Yeah,
they barbecue. So I mean, like, I don't know.
That'll be interesting to see.
And Magic Mike 2 comes out. I see. That's another thing. I honestly think
Ted 2 comes out tomorrow.
Oh, Ted. tattoos this weekend, Magic Mike and Magic Mike and Terminator next weekend, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think Magic Mike is going to be very, very busy. I think it's going to draw in a lot of women.
Yes.
And one of two things could happen. I think women are going to go see, like, wives are going to go see Magic Mike, and then the husbands will go see Terminator, or, like, people will go see Magic Mike and not see Terminator. Because, since the first Magic Mike, Channing Tatum has exploded.
Yeah.
He's had a bunch of stuff. People love Channing Tatum. I think people would want to see
Channing Tatum.
Oh, yeah. Just slide right in there. I think people would want to see Channing Tatum more than Arnold.
Yeah.
And maybe the Game of Thrones fans will want to see Daenerys Targaryen, but like
That's actually the new Terminator has a really good cast because it's got those two. Mm-hmm. It's got Jai Courtney, who's the new Captain Boomerang in Suicide Squad.
Oh.
Matt Smith is in it, who is the 11th Doctor from Doctor Who.
Really?
Yeah, he's in it. I don't even think he's really been shown in it, but I'm pretty sure he's in it.
I didn't know that.
Which is pretty cool. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
I think it'd be fun, but I also think people realize, like, oh my god, they're throwing Arnold in another movie.
I know. And he just had, like, some zombie movie come out that I heard was actually really well done.
That's cool.
But it was actually, like, a serious film for him.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Because he's not the governor anymore.
Right.
So he can act.
He's not the governor.
So, we'll see. So, I gotta get going.
Yeah, you do. So, this was a little shorter podcast, but we definitely wanted to get one out this week. Would have been a little bit longer, like I said, traffic, so we'll try to work with you guys. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Follow us on the Twitter at Grabcast.
Yep.
Follow us on the YouTubes at
when
Grabcast
this is uploaded.
Yeah, if this ever does. If it takes 4 million minutes, we'll see what happens. But yeah, hope you guys like the podcast and have a good one.
Grab you later.